As an American, I eat apple pie, play baseball under its blue skies. As an American, I travel this land and follow her roads wherever I can. From sea to shining sea, I've seen a lot, and none of it will be forgot. And when my country called, I gave my all as an American. I was born into freedom in a wonderful land of mountains and plains, rivers and lakes. Forever American is what I am. A past as rich as any can be. My father's worked hard to give this to me. I love this place I come from. To live another way I cannot foresee. As an American, I eat apple pie, play baseball under its blue skies. As an American, I travel this land and follow her roads wherever I can. From sea to shining sea, I've seen a lot, and none of it will be forgot. And when my country called, I gave my all as an American. As an American, I've been to the peaks of majestic mountains where the air is sweet. I've watched the eagle as it soars in beautiful skies that just can't be ignored. And by this country I'll always stand, for freedom and liberty for every man. When times are hard and things get rough, America always stands ready and rough. As an American, I eat apple pie, play baseball under its blue skies. As an American, I travel this land and follow her roads wherever I can. From sea to shining sea, I've seen a lot, and none of it will be forgot. And when my country called, I gave my all as an American. And when my country called, I gave my all as an American. Forever American is what I am.
Good evening. Welcome to Real News Live. Glad to have you guys here with us tonight. Hi, Debbie Martin. Hi, Debbie Rogers. Hi, Nana. Hi, Rodney. Hi, Dana. Hi, Richard. Hi, Gina. Hi, Tia. Hi, Glenda. Hi, Matt. How you guys all doing tonight? Lots of stuff happening out there, of course. We can start talking, seeing what's going on. But, of course, craziness. Of course, is Biden's border wall order. It's just another window dressing for the migrant crisis that's going on. It's ridiculous. Biden himself said he had to use Trump-era funds for the border wall. He asked if the border wall will work. He said no. President Joe Biden, of course, defending his administration's decision to waive 26 federal laws in South Texas to allow for construction of roughly 20 miles of additional border wall, saying he had no choice but to use Trump-era funding for the barrier to stop illegal immigrants from Mexico. This is ridiculous. New construction finally being announced as funds have been appropriated since 2019, before the Democratic president even took office. Biden said he tried to get lawmakers to redirect money from Congress, but Congress refused. Well, first of all, they had the House and the Senate for the first 2 years of his presidency. They never reappropriated those funds. Obviously, he never tried. I mean, the law requires the funds to be used as approved for construction to be complete in 2023. The money was appropriated already for the border wall, and Biden shouldn't be trying to stop it. I mean, the immigrant crisis in this country is ridiculous. Biden, of course, condoned border wall spending when he ran for the White House. One of the first decisions he made is to halt the use of emergency funds to build a wall along the southern border, ending the nation's emergency there, supposedly. It's ridiculous. Of course, amongst this, plans of deportation have been ordered back in place by the Biden administration. Is going to be resuming deportation flights to Venezuela as migrants' arrival grow to drastic numbers. Biden administration will resume deporting Venezuelan migrants in the largest single group encountered at the U.S.-Mexico border last month back to their economic troubled country. We're not for economic troubles. That is not a reason for coming here as a asylum seeker. That is not a legal pathway for asylum. Biden's administration is trying to pair with expansion of legal pathways for the asylum seekers, but coming here for asylum means you're at a direct threat from a direct route. I mean, that's the whole reason we have asylum. This asylum-seeking ridiculousness that's been happening the last couple of years here is because the Biden administration allows it. It's just a joke. It's literally a joke. It is sad watching this all unfold, of course, as the border crisis and watching our citizens, of course, lose housing everywhere. Some Democratic cities are now proposing laws that are actually common sense laws that should have been in place for a long time, such as not allowing Airbnb or people to buy up all these rental properties in New York City and allow them to be rented on Airbnb. Over 40,000 units in New York City right now were listed on Airbnb, but now a common law that should have been there. Yeah, Biden is, I would say he was the first, but the common sense law that stops these people from buying up all these rental properties and making rent extremely enormous in these cities. Finally, Democrats are doing the right thing, making laws to stop it from happening. Especially in New York City, which has a huge migrant crisis and no housing for anybody. It's a sad, sad state of affairs. Of course, then we got John Smith, or Jim Smith, I forget his name is Smith, of course, going after Trump again for allegedly sharing sensitive information about U.S. nuclear sub arsenal with, of course, an Australian billionaire, Anthony Pratt, including how many warheads the vessels carry, which if you can look up that information. It's pretty much public knowledge by this point. But of course, not how close they can get to Russian counterparts undetected. There's a lot of speculation on that. There's no proven number. I mean, not that I've seen. But watching Jack Smith, of course, go after Trump again, repeatedly. This political prosecution is not going to stop anytime soon. Of course, Trump today teased that he would insert himself into the House Speaker succession battle, which would be great. Of course, former President Trump, who is currently running for president again, has been thrown in the mix as GOP searches for a new House Speaker, but it's complicated. In an interview today he said that he would accept speakership for a short period of time while GOP lawmakers reach a decision for a long-term holder. He said, "I'm not doing it because I want to. I'll do it if it's necessary." They should not be able to make their decision. Should they not be able to make their decision? Sorry, reading what I typed and I can't even read it. But it's crazy. You got Jim Jordan, of course, putting his name in there. Steve Skoleski, which is a joke. But Jim Jordan, obviously, putting his name in there for hoping to get the House speakership. Watching this, you got other people like Green and a lot of other Democrats pushing for Trump to take that office, take that seat. Of course, Marjorie Taylor Greene yesterday, posted on Twitter that every day will be like a Trump campaign rally, drawing immediate pushback from Democrats who suggest they already had a Trump rally at the Capitol on January 6th, which is just ridiculous and untasteful at this point. Some was stating things like, "No thanks, we're good. We've seen a Trump rally at the Capitol already." Ed Malarkey responded with a Taylor Swift lyrics, "I've seen this film before and I didn't like it." These are people that are supposed to be above reproach, speaking on behalf of citizens, and they make a joke about everything. But watching the support for Trump to be the next Speaker of the House is growing. Of course, the 8 Republicans that ousted McCarthy from his position on Tuesday afternoon are all supporting this. So we'll definitely see. We'll have Trump as Speaker or Jim Jordan. That's what I'm thinking at this point. But I'm thinking Trump. That's what they're pushing. His policies stop globalists and communism more than anybody else's. Let's be honest. He's a leading member of the Republican Party, the only person that America can truly trust at this point, whether we like him or not, whether we like what he says. That's not the problem. The problem is with what's actually happening in our country. Unfolding, of course, our military and our might just being destroyed at every turn. China now producing the biggest nuclear carrier in the world will outpower most of our carrier fleet with a single vessel. Now that's important to understand because we have several carrier fleets, but they're producing a single vessel to replace an entire fleet of vessels armed with electronic warfare such as laser or direct energy weapons, which we've seen probably used in recent events in a fire that happened somewhere. I'm not going to make any direct assumptions there. And watching Russia call for World War III. Well, not calling for it, stating they will do it. Russia did a strike today, a missile strike that killed at least 51 people. And Zelensky is seeking more Western support. It's sad as a rocket's blast turned village cafes and stores in eastern Ukraine into rubble, killing at least 51 supposable civilians that were all attending a memorial for death of a soldier, I guess. That's what they're stating, Ukrainian officials right now. It's ridiculous. Zelensky attempting a summit with 50 European leaders in Spain, trying to drum up support for Ukraine or support from Ukraine's allies. Denounced the strike, saying it's a brutal Russian crime, completely deliberate act of terrorism. First of all, we know military personnel were there. It's not a question. Whether they want to claim they were all citizens or not is one thing. Watching what's happening in Ukraine and what's unfolding with Russia, Ukraine has now resorted to now forced enlistment of any female the age of 18 to 60. The draft is official there. All females are to report if they're aged 18 to 60 to fight. They've already done this for men. They're already running out of men to fight this war with Russia. So we've seen this meat grinder coming in and burning through soldiers at an enormous rate in Ukraine. And we can't even start to speculate on how many are dead at this point, because the number of soldiers they're having to pull in off of citizens is so astronomical. You can only imagine the numbers of dead and wounded there in Ukraine. They're not pushing for a peace treaty or getting around this war, watching this all unfold. We know China's ready and Russia's ready to fight at any given moment with the United States directly. They've both said that openly at this point. So watching this unfold in Ukraine and watching this meat grinder tear through millions of lives, and that's what it's doing, millions of lives. People are desperate for anything there. Ukraine is now forcing conscription of all females 18 to 60 years old. 18 to 60. They've already done with all the men. So we're talking every woman of childbearing age, to even grandmothers, being forced to fight a battle, a war against Russian soldiers. We're going to see if Zelensky pulls off the Band-Aid that's allowing them to leave the country. I'm guaranteeing he will, because he's trying to get as many people to fight as possible. Is he a Ukrainian citizen though? Or is he even for Ukraine? Or is he a plant by the U.S. government? That's a big question. A lot of people got to look and see what's happening. It's just sad. Zelensky is up for sale. Zelensky's not up for sale. Zelensky's already bought and paid for. That's what you got to realize. CIA put him in power. CIA is the one that sponsored his TV show that he was a supposable president in the TV show. And magically, the next year, he became president of an actual country. You're talking a comedian that becomes an actor and all of a sudden is president of a country. No political knowledge, no knowledge of even how to run his own life, much less the country. But yet he's there. He's a puppet. It's ridiculous because America can't even say a violation of humanitarian laws because we don't abide by the Geneva Convention at all. If America did, we would be, of course, punished several times over. We wouldn't have a country left because we violate all those laws. But this is sad facts that are happening. We're going to watch millions of women die now after millions of men have already been injured and died. And then we got Russia threatening directly with the West with total nuclear devastation, leaving no chance of survival. Saying in the event of a strike on Russia, he warns that his Saturn II and flying Chernobyl missiles are ready to be used, and ranting anti-U.S. speech. That's right. Vladimir Putin has now directly threatened the United States. And not just saying he will use nuclear missiles, but saying there will be no chance of survival. If there's a strike on Russia, because we're seeing what's happening in Poland right now. I told you guys about the secret meeting that's happening there. He's thinking the same thing I'm thinking. I'm thinking the U.S. is about to go into Ukraine, along with NATO. And now he's saying there's no chance of any survival if there's a strike on Russia. This is a direct problem. Because I know what the United States wants. They want, and not just the United States, but all of NATO right now, want Russia not to exist anymore. They want a country that we can control. We can't control our own people. We can't even control what's happening in the world. Our borders are open and people are pouring in at alarming rates. But yet they want to try to control a foreign nation. Well, all of them. Total annihilation is what we're looking at here. Yeah, creating a lot of orphans is just the beginning. It is sad, though. It is sad reading this, and of course, knowing that Vladimir Putin directly fears the survival of his citizens, and saying that he doesn't would be a lie. Their military drill that they had yesterday for all the citizens of Russia was directly for anticipating a U.S. nuclear strike, moving people into bunkers and everything else. Meanwhile, we just got a notification on our phones that said this is a test of the emergency alert system. Yeah, that's going to help us when a nuclear bomb comes. Let me tell you, getting a text message saying, hey, kiss your ass goodbye, is going to make people feel so great about their lives. Let me remind you, that's the United States plan, to give you notice that you're going to be annihilated. You don't have another plan. Only the rich and the powerful can get bunkers and prepare. And we see bunkers being built in other places now, even in California in some places. In the middle of the desert, salt mines. Old salt mines are being housed with massive amounts of food and other things, as soldiers, of course, man these mines, stating they're using them for storage facilities. Nobody's stupid enough to believe that at this point. We know what's happening. Alaska, of course, building their own shelter. We're just going to see what's coming in these coming days, but it does not look good. And it's not looking good for our Army either, as lawmakers, of course, and Army heads is heading for a fight over cuts of Special Operation Forces. U.S. Army plans to cut up to 3,000 people from its Special Operation Forces. When we already have an emboldened China and Russia, I mean, this is crazy. The Army is looking to reduce the number of operators and eliminate the redundant positions in the headquarters, logistics, and support, supposedly. These positions all allow our special warfare officers, like our Marines and our Rangers, to go out there and actually fight a war. Of course, the plan to alleviate this people, alleviate 3,000 positions, doesn't seem like a lot. But when you're talking about special war coordinators, the people that in the back room telling them, making the plans, figuring out what needs to happen, this is a big problem. Those people we can't operate on the field unless you have the people in the back supporting them. And BRICS, of course, is moving quickly as Iraq and other BRICS nations now to end all dollar cash withdrawals by January 1st, 2024. This is coming from the central bank. Iran being the first country that says it's banning cash withdrawals and transactions in U.S. dollars as of January 1st, which we knew this was coming. This is, of course, what the BRICS nation was talking about in their meeting in South Africa. And the move is being used to stamp out the illicit use of some $50 or $10 billion of Iraqi imports in cash from the New York Federal Reserve every year. Of course, they don't want to be involved trading in U.S. currency. And why should they if we're stealing all their goods anyways? And we are. De-dollarization is happening. I hate to say it, but it's no longer a prospect of how bad is it going to be. It's how bad is it going to get, because it's happening. There's no question about it. Watching this all unfold, though, it's just drastic. It's going to have a terrible percentage of the market. And when we're talking at least a 15% decrease in market capital, just as Iran pulls out, or Iraq pulls out of the US dollar. That's one country. Can you imagine when they all start moving forward? This is crazy. Yeah, build $1 million sidewalk over there, build a $10 million park or playground here. Oh, build a $5 million elevator for a single train station so Pelosi doesn't have to walk up one flight of stairs. Those are earmarked things we're spending our money on. Meanwhile, the U.S., of course, is pushing NATO's to a higher tension status as the U.S. fighter jet shoots down a Turkish drone over Syria. That's right. The U.S. has shot down a Turkish drone from Turkey that was flying above American forces. The U.S., of course, warned Turkey that the drone was flying over American forces. The U.S. fighter jet just shot it down with an air-to-surface missile that was flying. The U.S. flying in the air, armed with surface-to-air missiles, flying in the air where U.S. troops were on the ground. An F-16 shot down the drone. after dozens of unheeded calls to Turkish military officials stating the American forces were in the area. Why would we shoot down a NATO ally's equipment? We know tensions in NATO are already growing high. The separation in NATO is getting worse. Yeah, fancy libraries and bathrooms. Watching this unfold, we're attacking allies that are helping us in Syria. It is ridiculous. Watching this happen and watching this unfold is obviously causing huge problems within NATO, with NATO's risk growing day by day as people no longer want to be involved with what the U.S. has to do or what's happening in Ukraine or other things. As these rifts go deeper, and the U.S., of course, uses its might to attack its own allies, saying, of course, it's self-defense. They didn't fire a missile at troops. They were flying overhead. It's a big difference. Of course, Turkish defense minister said that a Turkish drone did not belong to Turkey, supposedly. But now, of course, Turkey is refusing to allow Sweden to join the alliance. What a surprise! Who knew that was going to happen? It is getting crazy out there. Every time we turn around, it's getting worse. Every time we turn around. God bless you guys. God bless America, because this is getting crazy. Yeah, we're going to reinstitute the draft anytime now. Crazy, crazy, crazy. God bless you all. God bless you, Dana, and hopefully you have a great time with your grandbaby. But be safe. Be safe. God bless you guys. God bless America. And hopefully we can get back to the country we once were. I will be live again Monday at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Till then, enjoy your weekend. If anything happens, I will come live if there's an emergency. But God bless you. God bless America. You can